Welcome everyone. All right, welcome back everybody. Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone.
Welcome everyone to the Best of Carroll Worldwide, Volume 1. Our first segment comes from the episode Skeletor's Big Black Glock, which was recorded on January 4th, and it is Sherry's favorite top 10, where she goes over all of the new texting acronyms that relate to the new app DTF, which actually stands for Drug Task Force. Here we go.
They could have consulted me because I actually did come up with a new list of things that they can change it to. Are you guys interested in hearing my top 10 list?
Yep.
Okay. So I found several replacement acronyms on the internet and renamed them so they could be appropriate for instead of Carroll County DTF. So here's the top 10 list.
Okay.
The first one, number 10, is VGL, which means very good looking. But I suggest they change it to Vigilante Ganja League. So there's that one.
Okay,
Gotcha. Are we the vigilantes that are like for ganja or against it?
I mean, you can interpret it any way you want to. DTF.
So it's like Batman, Rastafarian? Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I like that.
The next one I found was HNG, a horny net geek.
So a person,
yes,
basically.
A horny net geek. So now they're going to be the heroin narc gang.
I like it.
Okay.
Number 2 for 2.
I don't know these acronyms.
Neither do I.
Okay, so you guys are getting an education. I actually consulted my my teenage children on these acronyms, so I would be.
Are they
super
pickup
cool.
artists? I mean, how do they know these?
Well, yeah. I mean, my boys got game.
All right.
Are they oh God.
Don't just.
Are they DTF? Are they Drug Task Force?
I'm sure they are.
Did you just ask if her kids were DTF?
In the Carroll County context?
They are part of the Drug Task Force, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so number 8, CD. That stands for cross-dresser. So now they can be the Carroll drug lords, I thought. That's a pretty good
Straightforward.
one. And then number 7 is CAR, catch and release. You guys familiar with this term?
Yes, that one I know.
Hit it and quit it?
Yep.
Okay, so now they're going to be, instead of catch and release, it's going to be crackheads and raspberries. Do you guys know what raspberries are?
It's that little computer that you can turn into anything, a Raspberry Pi.
It's like when you blow in a kid's stomach. Go, boo, 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 boo.
No, you're both wrong. Actually, a raspberry is a lady, or a gentleman, I guess it can be, but I think more commonly it's a lady who will, in exchange for crack cocaine or some kind of drug, perform sexual favors.
Man, this is a real education.
Raspberry.
No idea.
Okay, well, see, I had to look a lot of this stuff up. I'm not just, like, smart about this kind of stuff either.
You're not Drug Task Force.
I did one for Randy. Do you guys want to hear number 6?
Yeah.
ASL. Age, sex, location.
So
the new one is Adderall spotted locally.
Oh, I like it.
6 is my lucky number, by the way. No, I'm not joking. It really is.
Is that your birthday?
Yes.
Is your birthday on the 6th?
It's on the 6th, yes.
Oh, that's so funny.
Also the sign of the beast.
Wait a minute. Let me guess. You're a Taurus, aren't you?
Damn. Yes.
Oh, my God. I knew it. Okay. So number 5 is MBA, married but available, and I'm not really sure what that entails, but now they're going to be the Molly and Bud Avengers.
Oh, okay. That's good.
When you say Avengers,
like the Avengers, like Marvel Universe.
Did you write for the NBA, Dennis? Did you write a plot line for the NBA?
Molly and Bud Avengers.
In the Dungeons and Dragons universe?
Okay, so number 4, VBD is a very bad date. So now it's going to be Vicious Badass Druggies. That's the new app name.
So is that for drug users?
Is this a government organization?
I was a little high when I wrote this list, so sorry.
Whoa, maybe you need to be DTF.
Okay, so number 3 is BDSM, which stands for bondage, discipline, and sadomasochism. But now it's going to be booze, drugs, and sex militia.
Sex militia sounds amazing.
The booze, drug, and sex militia. That's the new app.
The mascot doesn't have to change.
Not really, no.
Yeah, that's
what, Skeletor?
Yeah, Skeletor can.
Yeah, that sounds like a militia drug guy.
Okay. Number 2, RTS, real time sex, is now going to be RTS.
What other type is there?
Is it delayed sex?
I don't know. Maybe like people are texting each other during sex. I don't know what it means.
Okay.
I'm a very
real time sex or real time sexting.
Real-time sex. Just sex.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, so real-time sex.
This is educational.
Isn't it?
Really?
So RTS is now going to stand for the Roland Tweakers Squad.
What's Roland?
Rolling.
Like you're rolling on
Oh,
Molly.
Roland. Like rolling.
Roland.
Gotcha. God, I'm white.
You are so white.
Who's Roland?
Okay, you guys ready for number one? Number one. The number one new app is going to be called BBC. And instead of Big Black Cock,
Oh my God.
it's going to stand for Blunts, Blow, and Crack.
That's good. That's good. So,
And this next clip comes from the episode The Worm Turns from February 7th. It's when our podcast started but got hacked and taken over by another podcast in Tawnytown who took over our airwaves. Check it out.
hello everyone. This is Tyler 1844 with Tawnytown Countywide. I'm here with my esteemed colleagues today. Why don't you introduce yourselves?
Howdy, everyone. I'm Frank Sheets.
I'm Tawny. I'm from Tawnytown. I work at a local nail salon and massage parlor. Hi.
What's your last name, Tawny?
Well, I don't have a last name per se because my dad named me, after Tawnytown. But I'm more like Cher or Beyonce.
Per se, is that French?
I think so.
Dang.
Folks, we have a lot to get to without all of this hooting and hollering. Namely, we have a big problem here. Did you see the model townhome sign?
I sure did. Nothing wrong with it.
Looked good to me.
Well, it was spelled T-O-M-W? I don't recall it, but it was definitely a typo.
That's how you don't type a sign.
It was printed wrong. This doesn't bother you? I moved out here for the country living, but I guess these are the country folks I'm with.
Listen, I moved out here for two things, the guns and the typos. And I'm all out of typos.
Well, speaking about guns, did you hear what happened with the poor Tawnytown chief of police?
That's a man of God. What did he do?
Well, it seems he may have taken some guns across state lines. Machine guns across state lines.
Well, maybe he needed to shoot people across state lines. You think about that?
Wait a minute. You can't take stuff from work across state lines. You can't do that.
Well,
Machine guns. Maybe he needed to shoot a lot of people all at once. Think about that.
before I was retired, I was a lobbyist, but I don't think for guns it's the same. They're different. They can hurt people. Why do we need guns anyway?
Well, you need to hurt people sometimes. You need to protect yourself. It's part of the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution, and also the reason the NAR exists.
Do you mean the NRA?
Yes. What did I say?
You talked about the National Association of Realtors.
Well, maybe they need to shoot people in their houses too. Who knows?
They may need to shoot whoever made that sign.
But maybe. But I like typos.
Let's go back to this transporting across state line stuff because I'm a little concerned now because I go down to Baltimore all the time to pick up this industrial strength wax because I've got some pretty hairy clients.
You need guns down there.
As you can imagine. So is that, is that transporting across state lines? I don't even know.
I think it is. I think you're arrested.
Is Baltimore a part of?
It's a whole different state. Baltimore's on a whole different
Because
state.
I feel like everybody down there is very different than we are up here.
They're very different, yes.
It's all Maryland people.
What?
That's in Maryland?
I know we're a county
I thought that was Washington, D.C.
We're a county-focused podcast. We really shouldn't talk about Baltimore.
Well, all I know is ever since that whole gun thing happened, I'm going to be boycotting Dick's. And also the sporting goods store.
I am not going to be boycotting Dick's.
How you doing, Tawny?
I'm
Well,
fine.
I'm sure we have a lot more to talk about. Let's move on to the next subject.
So anyway, Dennis, once I left, and this next clip comes from a very early episode from December 6th called Horsing Around. It is the very first Golden Tractor Crank where we talk about the story in the Carroll County Times that was the most Carroll County story ever. Check it out.
Let's talk about the most Carroll County assault that has ever happened in the history of Carroll County.
We should do like a Mad Libs for this one.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah, we
so-
totally could.
Yeah, all right. So I'm going to say it has to involve farming.
Yes.
Has to involve a white guy.
Yes.
And it has to involve like a police report.
Okay. Well, it meets all three of those requirements.
So what happened?
Absolutely. Well, apparently there was a young man in Finksburg who was trying to help another man with his tractor.
Okay, so we got some farming.
So the young man who was trying to fix the tractor, I guess, got into an argument with the man who owned the tractor about whether or not he was actually fit to work on the tractor. I guess there was some argument about he was going to maybe make things worse.
Okay, so
the argument got a little bit heated and ended up in a mud brawl, from what I understand. There was wrestling in the mud, probably some
that just sounds like a Friday night.
Pig and
Right.
cow
Nothing
shit
unusual,
as well.
so-
Wait, was this at a farm?
I believe, well, yeah. I mean, in context, it's a tractor. There's mud. It was probably a farm.
Okay.
And then somehow, I guess, the man who was arrested for assault, so there is a police report,
Oh boy.
took a tractor crank, which I'm not exactly sure what that is, but I'm assuming it's a part of a tractor.
Randy, put that in the show notes. Tractor crank.
Tractor crank.
And
written down.
and he actually bludgeoned the man with the tractor crank.
So who
Drew
wielded
blood.
who wielded the crank?
The young man who was fixing the tractor actually ended up beating the man who owned the tractor with the tractor crank.
So like the guy with the tractor crank is just like, think about his perspective. He's fixing a tractor and the guy says stop. He's like not been hired to fix the tractor, and he gets so passionate about this subject he beats an old man with a crank. Like, if I was doing a good Samaritan deed and the person's like no, I can't imagine being like, oh, you're gonna get this tractor fixed.
I'm gonna fix you.
Dude. I'm gonna fix your tractor and like squeal like a pig. Like, I mean, that's what happened. This guy was so passionate about fixing a tractor.
Well,
but I am not like a fixing stuff guy. People get real fired up about fixing stuff.
Yeah, me
And being
either.
told they can't fix stuff. Because I'm like, I don't want to fix it in the first place. I do a job that's not fixing so I can have money to pay people to fix stuff. Because that's not my forte.
Highlights another cultural difference between Westminster and Baltimore. Baltimore, you get shot with a gun. Westminster, you get hit with a tractor crank. Speaking of firsts, this next clip comes from the episode Sitting in Judgment from December 13th. It's the first ever Judge Dennis.
I want to know what type of establishment Full Moon is.
Wait a minute.
Judge Dennis is sitting right now.
We're introducing a new feature to the podcast.
That's right. No one ever did a segment for me. So now I've got a segment.
We need to do this right.
Okay.
So introducing a new segment. Judge Dennis.
Are you going to do some like crappy reverb right there?
You know
Probably,
he's
yeah, I
gonna
already
have
had
an
that in my head.
awful sound effect associated with it.
I'm not going to do an awful sound effect.
Pounding gavel sort of thing. So
the contention is it a bar or is it a restaurant?
all right, who's going to present each side of the case?
What do you think? You know the place?
I really don't.
It's a local
I
establishment.
think I've been there, but I don't remember
Too many edibles?
too many edibles. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to say it's a bar primarily. It does have a restaurant area,
I feel very strongly that it's a bar as well.
but it's in the name.
I don't
It's
feel-
Full Moon Pub and Grill.
Doesn't say bar, does it?
No, but what's
Okay,
the
well,
difference?
I'll take the other side. That's
What,
fine.
that it's a restaurant?
Sure.
So when you walk in, there are tables to the right, to the left.
Who's doing what side here? You guys are just agreeing all the time. I don't feel the contention.
Well, we're trying to create it for you.
Okay.
But if there is none, I guess that's the judgment. Maybe we didn't need Judge Dennis for this one. Might need you for
So my
another one.
segment's already over. My segment's been already
No, I
removed.
can argue
6 months in,
that it's a-
and my segment's ruined.
That's a restaurant. I can argue that.
What do you think, Dennis?
Well, I think I need to hire better lawyers to argue in front of me first.
Well,
of
okay.
all.
Are we
Or
are we
some.
gonna argue now? Because I'm ready to argue.
No, I'm ruling. I'm making a summary judgment. It's a bar.
Me too. Okay, good. Thanks.
I object, Your Honor,
On what grounds?
that I did not have enough time to present my case. I also was not given evidence beforehand.
Oh, it's your
There's
job.
no
to-
disclosure.
Is this a mistrial?
I've just been appointed to this case. as a public defender, and I feel like I need more time.
You can save it for appeals.
This next clip is another Judge Dennis and Golden Tractor Crank combined, and a favorite segment where pigs actually came to court to testify on their own behalf of a big Carroll County story about pigs that were being kept as pets. Check it out. Yes.
Well, I mean,
For something different, but we got to do something different.
The story
right?
has evolved, though. I mean,
The pigs
What's
are
the
evolving.
story?
the story's evolved.
Tell
right?
me the story.
Well, there's a trial going on now. They have a court date. The pigs are going to have their day in court because I think from what I understand from the article, is that
You read the article.
I actually read the article. Yes, I read a lot. And
Did you know that before we brought her on?
No, I didn't.
I feel like I read enough for like 6 people in Carroll County, so this is really unrepresentative.
I read enough for negative 12 people, so you guys make up for it.
Oh no, I think. Anyway,
I actually read books too.
books. Okay.
Okay, so the story goes that I guess they were not able to. So people don't even know what we're talking about. We know what we're talking about. So you guys remember the story of the 2 pigs who had to find the home.
They were
couple of weeks back.
The county said the owners
Yes.
could no longer keep them.
Right. And the reason that we find out
No comment from the pigs so far.
in this subsequent article is that you have to have 3 acres of land in order to keep a domesticated farm animal. So they only have 1.8 acres. So they're going to court the family that has the pigs, and they're going to see if they can either get a waiver to keep the pigs, or if a neighbor will actually let them, I guess has volunteered to let them use the sum total of their land also to count towards the 3 acres.
Ooh, so you've got like joint pigs.
So yeah. So the story has evolved. Can we award the Golden Tractor Crank again to
I think
the
yes.
pigs?
All right,
It's a very Carroll County story.
I'm not voting for them. I'm saying they're eligible for the award. They're eligible. That's different than the yes that they got it.
I'm really curious how the whole court thing's gonna come down.
Well, if there's one thing I know about real law and justice, it's easily condensed into short snippets that we can listen to right now.
All right, hang on. I'm going to tune us right now into a live edition of Judge Dennis.
Wait, I'm in this thing?
Oh, you're totally in this thing.
Oh, okay.
Please preside.
I'm here. I can't stop presiding, I
Okay,
guess.
well, I think it's worth noting that we've actually asked the pigs to be here today.
That's a good point. Like, the pigs are the ones who are really, in the thick of it. So they have a really big liberty interest here.
This is their trial, and I think they need to state their case before Judge Dennis.
Okay.
So I'm going to give up my microphone, and I think Randy's already agreed to give up his microphone as well to the pigs. So I think they have.
So we're really doing this.
Yeah, they have a prepared statement they'd actually like to read to you.
Okay.
Okay.
Your Honorable Chief Justice, and if it please the court, I am Mervyn, and I'm here representing myself and my life partner, Otis. Otis and I have known no other life than our life in Finksburg, Maryland, with our loving family. We were recently told by Carroll County officials that since our family lived on a plot of land that is under 3 acres, we would have to be separated from them and possibly taken to another, larger farm, where we were terrified to hear pigs are raised for food for humans. Having no desire to meet our fate with the abattoir, we came before the court today to plead for our safety and our lives. Kune kune translates into round and fat in the Morai language of our native New Zealand. We are grazing pigs and require little area to live, making a small parcel of land the ideal place for us to abide. We come before the court to ask for asylum based on our fear of persecution, as we belong to a particular social group, Barnyard Animals Cooperative on Nihilism, or BACON. Under the guidelines of political asylum, we plead with the court to either grant us a waiver to remain on our property or allow us to move our housing to a neighbor's adjacent property, which meets the county requirements for acreage. We fear the unknown world beyond our cozy farmette and the motives of swine-loving humans to take us in. We ask the court to consider our safety in your decision. If we are not allowed to stay with our family, we will surely end up as next week's breakfast meats.
Hey, how you doing? I'm Otis. I'm just hanging out here, hamming it up, Just want a place I can hang out and smoke my cigarettes, Chop, chop. Let's get to this. No more pork spending.
Is it any wonder I love that man?
I love you too, Swiney.
Okay. What, Will, if we let these pigs stay, what's to stop everyone from just ignoring the 3-acre limit for farm animals, domesticated animals? Are we going to have a domesticated animal apocalypse on our hands? Just an infestation of cute, cuddly pigs?
Well, it depends on the reason for their waiver, I guess. And if they got the neighbor in on it, that's a very special circumstance that not a lot of people are going to be able to duplicate.
I hear what you're saying about setting a precedence, and yeah, I kind of get that, but
So what is your ruling?
we have to save these poor pigs' lives, because from what I've been reading, New Zealand bacon, we joked about it before, but it really is delicious.
You're so not helping.
Yeah, you've got me interested in perhaps being less merciful.
I do like breakfast food. It is my favorite.
I would the other hand, I think if you have if you have an agreement between parties to provide 3 acres of land, perhaps that meets the requirement. But you would have to have some legally binding.
I mean, that's what happens when the neighbor sells the house to someone else. Like, that can't go on in perpetuity.
Well, I mean, they would have to, if the agreement was, as long as that land equals 3 acres, it's good. If they sold it, then they'd have to get the new neighbors to agree, or they would have to lose their porkers.
So what is your ruling, and does this win the Golden Tractor Crank?
I gotta judge both things? Oh, man. Okay, so first and foremost, as a threshold issue, we ruled earlier that this is eligible for the Golden Tractor Crank.
Yes.
So the same set of facts in a different light can be eligible for Golden Tractor Crank. Important precedence. Secondly, I'm awarding it the Golden Tractor Crank. It is a domesticated animal story in Carroll County. Dentures are hilarious, but they just don't seem as emblematic of our beautiful home. Third, I'm feeling merciful. The pigs will be able to stay based on the assurances of the neighbor that there's 3 acres. They're going to have to record a deed or another encumbrance upon the land to make sure that this is held that way. And if the land is sold, this could endanger the porkers. And I would say, although your pigs are cute and they're part of the family, you should take notice of the local laws and ordinances before you buy your New Zealand pigs.
Disclaimer, Judge Dennis is not an actual judge, and this decision was for entertainment purposes only. And this next and last segment is one of my personal favorites. It is both from the episodes Skeletor's Big Black Glock and also Make Mine to Go from January 11th. It's when I talk about how the places in Carroll County are named poorly and have a double entendre. But in the second episode, Dennis gets the name wrong and causes a lot of hilarity and very, very painful imagery. Here we go. Okay, well, this is that was a very cold opening.
Well, I mean, we're talking about the tip.
It was a post that reminded me that things in Carroll County are just named very, very badly. Businesses, apps, what have you.
What's the worst named business you can think of?
I have a few. I'd like to share them with you.
Okay.
I was in Sykesville a couple weeks ago, and I'm on the corner on Sykesville Main Street. There's a place called Headmasters. I saw that. I storm in. I'm screaming, "Take my money! Take my money!" They're saying, "Oh no, this is a barber shop. You have to leave." And I said, "Why don't you call yourselves fucking Hairmasters or something?" And then I complained to the Better Business Bureau, and they were all, "Sir, you can't walk in here with no pants," whatever. Guy gets propositioned for sex while walking around at a grocery store. Meanwhile, I can't get a text back. Life is just not fair.
It's really not.
Well,
I've never been propositioned at a grocery store.
At least you have hotheads.
Hotheads?
Mm-hmm. Wait, what is that place called? Headmasters?
Headmasters, yeah.
Sorry.
Hothead sounds very painful.
Maybe you get a hothead at Headmasters. I think that's everything.
I think so too.
All right, I'm Dennis Twigg.
I'm Randy Goldstein.
I'm Sherry Hosfeld Joseph.
See you later.